Yo, it's your boy Eddie Starr coming to you live for the pad, about to give it to you raw. And check it out, we about to go over who's the next Lakers head coach. Now, let's start off with Byron Scott. Now, Byron Scott started off with the New Jersey Nets, had some relative success, got them to the finals. And after they got to the finals or whatnot, he kind of had a season where he went 22 and 20 halfway into the season. Ownership said, look, we're better than this record that we have, so we have to let you go. They let him go. He got hired by the New Orleans Hornets at that time. And the New Orleans Hornets, they took Byron Scott in. Later on, they acquired the draft rights to Chris Paul. He developed Chris Paul. Chris Paul had some success with the New Orleans Hornets, and that was pretty much the prime of Byron Scott's career. He actually won NBA Head Coach of the Year, and he made some decent runs in the playoffs, but ultimately he had a bad season where the Hornets didn't start off too good, and ownership let him go. Now, this is when things started to get bad because he went to Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Cleveland Cavaliers they had a young Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie Irving had some good success. He had some good success, but ultimately the team was not getting wins. They were having a lot of L's, so they had to let Byron Scott go. So for a while, it was kind of like, what's my next job? So the Lakers came up. They interviewed him once, twice, 3 times, maybe even 4 times. And I guess they acquiesced. They went ahead and hired him. And I guess maybe they didn't have any better options. Now, a lot of Laker fans were like, yes, finally we got somebody who's a Laker. And I think the hire was just to appease the fans. So when they hired him, that was kind of like, okay, they're listening to us. They had Magic co-signing. So, it didn't work out where the Laker fans are happy. Somebody got to be the scapegoat. So Byron Scott is a scapegoat. And Lakers aren't winning. So that could be because we have a really, really bad roster. That could be because Kobe's was chucking up a lot of shots or earlier in the season. But one thing's for sure, we don't have an identity on the offensive end. It seems like we just run a lot of ISOs, and we don't have an identity defensively. We're currently ranked 26. Now, when he was ranked 26 in defensive efficiency. Now, when he was on the Cavaliers, they were ranked 29th. So this whole, I'm trying to preach to them defense. I guess they just don't listen. So, he's in a situation where they're trying to wait till the end of the season to figure out what they're going to do. So there's a good chance that they might keep him because they said they feel like he's an innocent bystander, just rolling along on the Kobe Bryant farewell tour. But one thing's for sure, he's a poor communicator. And he's using these antiquated Pat Riley kind of tactics and tricks to motivate players. And I'm like, these modern players are different. So we'll see how that works out. Now, I'm also hearing some stuff about everybody wanting to get Scott Brooks. Scott Brooks was coach of the OKC Thunder. He had a young core of talent where he had a young baby James Harden, and he had Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant, and he was really key to their development. He's a great coach as far as developing young talent. And OKC had some talent. Had some success when they went all the way to the finals up against the Heat. It's just the Heat was a better team. And pretty much after the OKC went to the finals, Scott Brooks kind of had bad luck because his team was not really as healthy, and players were, one player, if it wasn't Ibaka getting injured, then it was Kevin Durant or it was Westbrook, and they never could quite reach that spot. So OKC's issue has always been really like health, but a lot of the management up top, like Sam Presti, was like, look, they just was thinking he was getting outcoached because he was getting him to the playoffs, but when he had to go up against far more superior coaches like what's his name, Rick Carlisle, and the Spurs coach, when he had to go up against Popovich, it was like he was getting outcoached. So they let him go, but he kind of got the short end of the stick. Scott Brooks is a good coach, so they might go after him. But I think the only way they hire Scott Brooks is if Kevin Durant gives a cosign, and he just outwardly says, "Look, I want Scott Brooks as head coach in order for me to come here." This is going to be Jim Buss's last year as head of basketball operations if the Lakers don't make it to the second round or better. So I believe he's going to go after somebody that has some kind of, he's going to go after a name. So there you go with Scott Brooks. Now I'm also hearing, since we on Scott Brooks and KD, Kevin Ollie kind of played himself. Kevin Ollie had the opportunity to be the Lakers head coach or a head coach, and Steve Kerr got hired with the Golden State Warriors. Nobody kind of saw him coach. They knew he was a general manager before, but this was going to be his coaching debut. And Kevin Ollie said, look, if Steve Kerr is getting that much, I deserve more because I won a national championship in college and Steve Kerr hasn't proven anything. I need to get paid more. Steve Kerr ended up winning the championship his first year, while Kevin Ollie kind of passed on an NBA coaching opportunity. And it's kind of like DJ Khaled said, congratulations, you played yourself. Right? So Kevin Ollie, I don't think that's feasible. That's not plausible. That's the more appropriate word. But you never know. And so also I'm hearing some stuff about Luke Walton. Luke Walton needs to be coach of the Lakers. Luke Walton, is he a better coach than a team, or is a team better than he is as a coach? Because that team is stacked. You think about it, like Andre Iguodala is kind of like down the list as far as the player. Iguodala is down there. That's like third or fourth best player on the team. Okay, they stack. You got Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and Clay as the headliners. And it's a tug of war between Harrison Barnes and Iguodala, and I think Harrison Barnes maybe has an edge. That team is stacked, but is that team is he getting the most out of those players, or are those players just really good? I think the players are just really good, and none of those wins count on his record. So I think he'll be a good head coach. I think he has the potential to be a good head coach. But to me, coaching is when you take a bunch of junkyard pieces and you make them look better than what they are, like what Rick Carlisle's doing with the Mavericks. Bunch of junkyard parts, putting them together, and now they're like in fifth place. Or what that coach on the Celtics, what the coach on the Celtics did last year, where he got them at least till he got them to the playoffs. So to me, that's like to me that's coaching. But do we have the patience as Laker fans to withstand him, losing some games and things not really working out as well as we think they will? Because we're looking at the Warriors like he won all those games with the Warriors, but he comes with the Lakers and we got a garbage squad. And we're kind of disappointed because he's losing a lot. Then we're calling for Luke Walton's head. I've seen the same thing happen with Brian Shaw. Everybody, oh man, we should have hired Brian Shaw. Brian Shaw, he know the triangle. He's like the next Phil Jackson. Went to Denver, it was a dumpster fire. So you got to be careful with co-signing guys who don't really have NBA coaching experience. So, I want to see him. I want to see him be a head coach in this league. I think Luke Walton does have talent. But Luke Walton even said it himself. He's like, look, none of these wins count for me. I'm not getting it. This is not going on my record. Also, Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson, people keep saying that he's actually a great defensive coach. He's a guy that taught them, gave them a defensive identity. Offense, they kind of was isolation. When Steve Kerr came, they really start moving the ball. They became a ball movement team, making an extra pass. That's how they got way better, and everybody's game stepped up. Everybody's. That's coaching. When everybody's game gets better when you're the coach, that's coaching. But Mark Jackson drove management crazy because he was telling Jerry West, look, stay out of practice. Leave me alone. He even had some Machiavellian tactics. You can read up about what he did with Festus Ezeli, kind of drove players against him, and it was some kind of situation where he was saying stuff and driving players against each other to motivate them, and that's kind of Machiavellian and not nice. If you're a head coach, that's not nice. So, he's a great defensive coach. Offensively, they were, like I said, they were above 500 team. But general managers talk with each other, and Jerry West is buddy with Jim. Jerry West is buddy with Jim Buss, and I'm pretty sure they talk. And if he calls Jerry West, hey Jerry West, what do you think about me hiring? Nah, don't do it, because I tried it, but nah, don't do it, because he that's like one of his mentors, Jerry West. When Magic was criticizing Jim Buss, first thing he did was say, oh, yeah, well, Jerry West knows that I know what I'm doing. So I doubt that he becomes a Lakers head coach. Also, I keep hearing stuff about Tom Thibodeau. Like Tom Thibodeau. He's going to be the Lakers' next head coach. Now, Tom Thibodeau is a guy who is the Jim Harbaugh of coaching. Like, he gets the best out of his players. Like, he made Kaepernick a better quarterback than what he really was. He elevated Kaepernick's game. He got the most out of his players, but he drove everybody else crazy. He's very, very demanding, to the point of players being ran ragged, being exhausted. And some could say that may have contributed to some of the injuries that they had during the season. Like, man, this is why this guy may have got injured or that guy may have got injured, because he gave us crazy minutes on the court. Like we would play up to 40 minutes on the court, or however many minutes he decided we had to play. He had some success as an assistant coach under Doc Rivers from 2007 to 2010. Actually won that chip that the Celtics won. And like I said, he gets the most out of his players, but he tells management, stay out of the way, let me be a head coach. So that made the management crazy, and they say, you know what? they fired him, and they did it in a tacky way. It was tasteless, but they did it because they wanted to prove a point. But he's a good coach. He's a really good coach. Will the Lakers hire him? I don't know. Another guy to look out for is Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue is an associate head coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers. When the Cleveland Cavaliers were staging the mutiny against David Blatt, Kevin Love, and all of them, everybody ain't getting along. J.R. Smith, everybody picking cliques and all that. They wasn't listening to David Blatt. Who were they listening to? They were listening to Tyronn Lue. Now, Tyronn Lue, some of you guys are like, Tyronn Lue, are you serious? They were listening to Tyronn Lue. All of these diva superstars and big name players that was acting out, they were listening to him because Doc Rivers himself said, look, Tyronn Lue has a way of communicating with players that's not offensive, that gets straight to the point and is direct. And he has a skill with communicating with players. So he could be a possible head coach in this league, and a lot of general managers know it because, like I said, they all talk with each other to have a rapport. You know, just good business. So you just never know who the Lakers may go after. We just don't know. They may go after Coach K. They may have to go after John Calipari. Right? But I doubt that they go after Mark Madsen. I think he's doing fine with the player development, but as far as head coach, I don't think so. But hey, I don't know. I don't know what the Lakers may do. Who do you guys think? Drop a comment below. All right. It's your boy Eddie Starr. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace. Oh yeah, and don't forget to share. Peace.